this video, we'll be sorting 3 integers from smallest to largest using a swap function. So what we've currently got is 2 function prototypes. One to get a number from the user and return that number while displaying the message that we pass as an argument. And the second one is a function that swaps 2 integers 1 and 2. Now this function was actually demonstrated in the previous video, so you can refer to that one if you wanted to get an idea on how it was implemented. But here is how the 2 functions are defined. Now the first one takes a number and displays the message that came in as an argument, and then it returns that number. While the second one basically just swaps the the values of the integers 1 and 2. So let's have a look at how this program can actually work. So initially we will start with declaring 3 integers. So integer number 1, number 2, and number 3. Then we'll get the values. So using our getNumber function, we can pass the message for the first one, enter first number, the second and the third, just change the variable names and the message. Now what we want to do is we want to display the numbers before the sort happens. So number 1, and then now we can specify that there's going to be a decimal, so a whole number, number 2, so and a new line, so basically just putting new lines, and number 3, then we have a whole number and a new line. Now what we want to do is replace those conversion characters with actual variables. They will actually be number 1, number 2, and number 3, and I made a mistake here. Should be capital, sorry, small letter. And I'm just going to copy this line right here to display. Now at the moment nothing is gonna be different, but let's see how this program works. Just make sure that I haven't got any major errors there. So if I put in 1, 2, and 3, they still look like 1, 2, and 3. Okay, now let's do the sorting here. We want to compare the first value with the second, and if it's larger, then we do a swap. So if number 1 is greater than number 2, then we will call our function swap integers. And what we want to make sure is that we pass the addresses. This is because we've actually written our function such that it actually receives 2 pointers. So we're passing by pointer, so we need to pass the address. Okay, where was I? I kind of lost myself here. So semicolon. So that's the first thing we do. I'm going to copy the condition. Now we want to compare the first value with the third. So first we check first with second, then first with third. If the first is smaller than the third, then we also swap these 2 numbers. And the last check that we want to do is now we want to check the second with the third. So 2 and 3. So let's just double check the first with the second, and we check the first with the third. And if it's true that the first is bigger, then we swap them. And then the last check would be 2 against 3. And if 2 is bigger than 3, we swap them. That should be it. Now let's do the testing. So let's do a test from the list is already sorted, so nothing happens. Next we will do the list is unsorted. So now it's not list, so the numbers come in from descending order. So now we can see that they've actually been sorted. Now let's try by making the first one the largest and the second the smallest and the third in the middle. So now we've actually also got them from smallest to largest, so that's working nicely. And let's try making the smallest our middle value, like this. So the middle value becomes the first, and then second and third. What else do we try? Let's try 2, 1, 3. So that's back to 1, 2, 3. And let's try 3, 2. Oh, we try 3, 2, 1. Let's do. How about 3? Oh, that's not going to be. Try something. 3, 1, 2. Yeah. So try with different cases, make sure your program works as expected, but that's about it, and I'll see you in the next one.